I'm gonna let it shine. Let's see what of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Okay, we're gonna start. I see that it's streaming. We're going. Hopefully, this Instagram account works. Been banned a little bit. Let's see. Is it working? It is. What's up, Instagram? I'm Captain Yogi Chris, Captain of IMC Nation. That's redundant. And I'm bringing to you a special talk about animal language, animal communication. Obviously, I'm here as a messenger of AZD IMC Tech. AZD is the tattooed, bald Persian guy that you see in all the clips. I live with that guy. That guy's known as top relationship expert on the earth. Some people don't consider him that. I consider him that. And the success is the proof. He has a training coming up about animal body language. I want to tell you a little bit about it. Not just the training. I want to tell you about like the concepts of it. In learning about the concepts of it, you'll learn. You don't have to sign up to learn. I'm in an industry of philosophy and relationships where literally to sell you anything, I have to teach you. And for you to buy anything, you have to get better. If you don't get better, I don't expect you to buy anything. That's how I bought into it. I didn't just like develop this out of nowhere and I started teaching it. Like I was a student, I was a dork at University of Florida, PhD student, ex-wrestler, Division I college wrestler. I was a beast, but I had turned into a drugged out, burnout yogi, PhD scholar that was just like nerding out. And I learned game. I learned communication skills from there. I was terrible. Now I'm all right. You know what I mean? And I have other skills that help me in the business, but in the process of getting good, I had to learn. And I learned so much from free stuff and YouTube stuff. And there was not TikTok and Instagram posts at the time. There was Facebook and YouTube. And then I would buy products and learn and get better. And it's just the process of never at any moment did I buy something and feel like it was a waste of money. Everything got me better. And so that's the same vote of confidence I try to give to you guys. And so it's always going to be valuable. So the animal language, animal communication, it's thinking about the human being as an animal because there is a stimulus response in you where you see a pair of titties, you got to turn your head. You see some delicious food, you start salivating. Like something you just, let's say politically, something is said that you really don't like and your body reacts to it as if something you don't, as almost like you ate something bitter, but it's not. It's an idea. You're just physically reacting to the idea. So the animal language has a lot to do with that, reading people's bodies as if they're saying just as much as their words. It's actually saying a lot more than their words. Whatever they're saying, their body is saying more. If what they're saying with their words doesn't match their body, they're lying. That the body is the truth, actually, of what's happening inside of them. It doesn't mean like they're going to be doing the truth of like physics, 2 + 2 times the square root of this and that with their body. But the truth of if they think the answer is right will be on their body and face. If they think the answer is wrong, it'll be on their body and face. If they think the answer is wrong, but they say that they think it's right, you'll be able to tell they're lying if you knew body language. It would be the same way as like saying if you knew language and they said 2 + 2 = 5 and you're like, it's wrong. Why? Because you know language. If you don't know the language, hold on, I gotta put out this headset. Smoke. Okay. So if you know the language, just regular verbs, verbal language, then you'd be able to tell if somebody's telling a falsehood. If you have any wits about you, obviously, if you're reading somebody's body language, then you should have some wits. Like, what are you reading? If you're a complete moron, then what's the point of learning body language? If you think body language will make you smart, no, it'll make you aware of body communication. You still need to be a smart person. You still need to have philosophy. You still need to have an agenda, a strategy that you're a goals, a vision that you're going for. Otherwise, what's the point? That's why the teachings are really designed not for the man to go from dirt to hero, but for the guy who has the power of a hero, but he's acting like a villain or he's acting like an ignoramus or he's just sloppy or unrespectable. He's not respectable. How to make that man respectable? It's possible. Change your character, become accountable, be disciplined. Take responsibility for your communication, your state of mind, and all of this and that. Like a man can improve for sure. So the person who has more on the line has more to lose if you misread body language, if you think that she's interested, but she's not. Or if you miss that she's interested thinking that she's not. What a there's we see that a lot actually in the guys in Vegas, and we're around, like we're watching, like we're practicing a lot going out, and guys are left and right misinterpreting what the woman is actually communicating with her body, because the man gets all hypnotized. He gets all in a trance, seeing a beautiful woman, talking to a beautiful woman, uh, I forget swooning. I forget the word, but basically like desiring the woman, and then he starts misinterpreting everything that she's doing in his favor usually. But sometimes he's like hella complaining, or ringing in my ear right now. I don't know how that happened. Maybe that's like an angel or whatever I was talking about just penetrating my brain. But that was the last time that happened. Was like I don't have any memory of that ever happening. I'm talking and the left ear starts buzzing. That's a trip. Animal language. Brothers, we have some of you online that I know on Instagram. Stream with me. Let's talk about it. I am very excited to take this training with AZD because he has demonstrated over and over such mastery of body language. I mean, mastery in many things, but on this subject particularly, mastery of body language, where what does that look like when someone's mastered it? Well, let's put it this way. What does it feel like when they point out to you your fucked up body language? When you think you're doing fine, and then he points it out, and then it becomes obvious, it becomes apparent, especially to other people around. Like if you're in Vegas, we're like doing a science experiment. We have 8 to 10 guys consistently around, all intelligent men, all focused on these ideas. They're doing their own thing in life, but they're looking at communication, imagination, mindset, discipline, how they can uh, just master their own life, but through these basic fundamental skills that are not really basic. That's kind of the wrong word for it, but fundamental skills. Communication is a fundamental skill. You know what I mean? Self-discipline is a fundamental habit, but we focus on it because you can get better and better. I know as a wrestler or as a yoga instructor or yogi, anything, a PhD, like it's not that it never hurts to go back to the basics, but you can probably always make your basics stronger, sharper, better. Salsa dancing. If you get your footwork just a little bit better, turning your foot an inch forward, an inch backwards, like it makes a big difference if you're doing like 2 hours of dancing, like if you have good form. Going back to your basics. And so when I say communication is fundamental, bro, you can get it, I would say infinitely better. Probably that's true. I can't prove that you can get infinitely better, but everybody can get better at communication. And AZD is at the forefront. He can get better. He will be better next week, next month, next year. I mean, he'll just keep getting better. But right now, he's better than all of us. So he's training us. And maybe there's some people in the world that are better at communication. I don't know how you'd measure that. You'd have to go into a certain field and say he's a better salesperson at selling stocks. Okay, at selling stocks, he's a better communicator. But at talking to women, is he a better communicator? And it's like, well, you're just focusing on women. Bro, you're focusing on women too. You're just denying it. You're going for that job for women. You're going for education for that job for women. You're looking at that car for women. You're going to the gym for women. You're walking your dog at that certain particular time when that neighbor chick is walking around for women. Everything you're doing for women is also, it's for women. You just suck at it. And you're a hater. That somebody who actually focuses on the women's subject instead of going 1,000 different routes, trying to indirectly get women by making money or getting a great body or whatever, selling their soul to some fraternity or something. Instead of doing all that bullshit, we just go right to get good with women. Now, in the process of that, what happens is, I won't say you heart gets broken, but you pretty much let yourself down because you end up getting a girl if you learn this art the way AZD teaches it. I can't promise what results you get with other people. You might get some quick sex, I see, with some of those companies, but then their lives are destroyed. We get a lot of those dropouts and they're confused. And one of the biggest, if not the biggest inhibition or the biggest block to learning is thinking you already know. So guys come from other companies thinking they know something and then they can't learn. They have a hard time. Very few make it anywhere. It's the guys that just kind of start with IMC that make it. But some foreign companies, they do. Not just foreign, like Europe. I mean, like, other companies. Ex-students, sometimes they do all right. So, what was I saying? Self-discipline, communication. You're doing everything for women. Uh, so what'll happen is you'll get women and then you got them with game. You got them with good communication. You got them by borrowing communication techniques or scenarios or situations from AZD, all of his lectures. And then you can't follow through with it, man. It's like you swing the bat perfectly, super hard, hit the ball square on, and then you don't follow through. And the ball kind of goes somewhere and then drops. That's what happens when people learn quick game. You got to learn the follow through. And in this, the follow through is a lifestyle. So it's like the follow through isn't just you screw the girl. It's not just you make her your girlfriend. It's you seduce all the women around you always, and you keep running your life without missing a beat. You keep following through with everything. And it's a lifestyle that feeds you women and feeds you relationships and feeds you fulfillment. That's what this is. A system of self-discipline with awareness of your self-image and your character, with a code of ethics and a technology of communication. All of that put together, and then understanding human psychology and game, pickup, seduction. These are skill sets. Each of those words are enormous. Seduction is a whole skill set. Pickup is an enormous skill set. But you need the techniques of communication. You need self-image and the ability to create with your imagination. You need self-discipline. And you need spiritual awareness and a sense of righteousness and right and wrong. Because there's no way you'll ever read in all the books every scenario you'll find yourself in and how to handle this situation and the right and wrong way to do it. There's no way you'll be able to cover all the situations of your life. You're going to need to know what to do when you find yourself in situations. And that's where do you get that from? It's not from a teacher. The teacher just reveals the way that's within you. If you hear the teachings correctly, you start to look and investigate and get a handle on this thing. And AZD is like a miner or an excavator, digging deep into the human psychology, the deep genetic responses of people. And that's how he knows how to communicate so deeply and in such an aligned way. And that brings me to the animal language. The animal, the human, the man, the woman, your body movements, your face, your eyes, your breath, even your voice sound, not the words, but the sound is communicating so much about your state of mind. And AZD is teaching a course hacking that. We're in an illusion. I'm going to go out tonight. I'm going to be stuck in an illusion. My job, beads, is to pierce that illusion and see reality for what it is. Meanwhile, I don't know how to approach a woman to make an acquaintance or to bring home. Well, definitely don't worry about bringing her home if you can't approach her. Don't get ahead of yourself. But you know that you're trying to approach her to fuck her. So that's going to come across real creepy. And the thing about guys and learning game is they are all sex hungry. You're all trying to go for sex. 7. Is there a right time to fight? Or how can one know when to fight back or just keep calm? Well, that word fight is kind of loaded because it makes me think physical fight. And if you just mean argument, then there's better words to use. And oftentimes, if you're having an argument, it's just because you need better words. So even there, as an example, your comment, is there a right time to fight? Do you mean, is there a right time to argue? Or do you mean physically fight? And is it a man or woman you're trying to fight? Alexi, yes. So, that's a situation that guys find themselves in where they need women because they're like thirsty, hungry, dying. They need fucking somebody pretty and soft to like them and fuck ultimately. And so they find themselves in such a deficit that to get started on the process, they carry so much toxicity and just weird vibes that it's very difficult to overcome. That's why we actually don't teach pickup up front. And we don't even teach pickup later on. The pickup gets learned as you go because all we're talking about is relationships in our mastermind classes, the men's groups and everything. We are talking a lot about mindset and other things, but the push is the relationships because that's where men, they suffer so much. They're so weak. It's a disaster for the culture and they have very low level of ability to communicate about it. Men don't know how to talk about relationships. They don't know how to talk about women. They don't know how to talk about pickup or sexuality or anything like that. They're completely just kindergarten level with an adult body and hormones when it comes to talking about women. Women are too. They're just so confused and they have a language. They think they're clever. Women think they're clever about relationships. They're completely, it would be like someone who's like all cocky in math class and they solve the problem and they're like, ha, and then they got it completely wrong. Like totally wrong. Like there's nothing right. The only thing right is that the number 7 looks like the number 7. They actually drew the number correctly. That's like women who are speaking about relationships. They're using words, and those are words. Like I understand what you're saying. You're writing numbers, but your equations are wrong. Like that's women coaches. Women coaches. There's absolutely zero because it just defies reason. Who is a woman going to coach besides another woman? How is she possibly going to coach a man? That's so retarded on so many levels. So that's the female coach. Then dating men, I forgot what I was going with that. But the body language. So, the guy saying about approach, that's why we start really with self-discipline. Mindset, communication, and self-discipline. Because you got to get shit going for yourself. You got to be self-disciplined to be a success and not to crash. You got to be self-disciplined to get a better body. You got to be self-disciplined to keep educating yourself even though there's obstacles. You got to become a beast. When you become a beast and you learn AZD's communication techniques, then you'll be ready to learn game. Game doesn't look like what you think it looks like. Because if you're in that condition where you're afraid to approach people, women, you are very far from how we do game. Because AZD is a master. So that means below master is expert. Can you imagine an expert at women? Very good. Below expert is advanced. Somebody who's really good. Can you imagine somebody who's really good with women? Below really good is above average. You know anybody that's above average with women that gets like an above average girl or has slept with more than an average amount? Okay, imagine above average. Above that is really good. That's the next level up. Above that is like expert. Above really good, really good. Really good would be like the football jock at a university. Expert would be like a dating coach or a football superstar. Master is like among the greatest on earth with women. AZD is a master, and he's teaching us, and we're all very good. Our game doesn't look the same. So you learn some other subjects, and then we have some game products that will teach you our systems of game. But you got to have self-discipline because if you learn game without self-discipline, you're going to shit on everybody. And then you're going to resent the company, and then people will resent the company because it's like you taught that guy some weird game. You're right. That's why we don't teach him game. He's got to learn self-discipline. Now, if you're absolutely dead set on learning game, then there are a couple products that I would recommend from AZD to get you started so that you at least have proper philosophy. You're going to make mistakes no matter what route you go. Guys make mistakes with women. That you learn. But when you learn this ethics and philosophy, you always do right by yourself. So you never think you're doing wrong. You were ignorant, but as long as you don't think you're doing wrong, then you'll have somewhat of a clean heart. Now, there are examples of sociopaths, but that's so rare. I only have to say that as like the exception. I don't know that I've ever met a sociopath. That's how rare it is. Like someone who just does evil and doesn't know right from wrong. I just haven't met that. So that's always a weird excuse that women say, but it's not realistic. Argumentative with a woman. Wow, that was a comment from a long time ago. No, I don't think there's the right time to argue with a woman. Sometimes you put your foot down and she gets it, but after a few sentences, if she's not getting the intensity of what's happening, we got to disengage. You got to go, or I got to sit and do this thing, or you take a break in the restroom, or fucking move the fuck on, woman. Let's hang out another day. Today's not the day. Like arguing with a woman is you're weak, you have too much time on your hands, and you don't value your time enough, and you don't value your state of mind enough. Women are just toxic, bro. So you got to have boundaries, and that's where you learn game. You learn tremendous amount of communication skills that are so helpful. You don't even know how helpful they are until the situation arises, and then you're like, oh man. And then you start to take it for granted when you know these communication skills. But when you come across a situation that you don't know how to handle, bro, let's say I live with AZD. I learned from AZD. So I may ask him a question. How would you respond to this? When he gives his answer, bro, it's so freeing. And it's like when you know how to communicate in a situation. Okay, if you don't know how to communicate in a situation, you get all blocked up. It sucks, dude. You're like chewing on the situation. You're trying to figure out what to say. You're like meditating, brainstorming, free writing. Like when you know what to say, the energy just flows out of you. And the other person, when you know what to say so that the other person gets you, and like communication is so valuable. People get ill because they don't know how to communicate. They destroy their job, careers, their relationships because they don't know how to communicate. It's everything. People don't even meet other people. The guy is not meeting any girls because he doesn't know how to communicate to girls. Where are you going to learn how to communicate from girls? Might I suggest AZD? Why? So many relationships. The relationships are with such beautiful women. The relationships have been going on for so long. Long. Some of them over 18 years. The relationships are perfectly orderly. There's not arguments. Every now and then there's a handling, but can you imagine 8 girlfriends or 7 or however many? He's got a bunch, and he's had many more. And like I said, some have been around for many years, and then others are newer, whatever. But perfectly ordered, not drama. It's not drama. People are like, it takes too much effort to like have even one girlfriend. Why would I want 2? Bro, for you, you should have 0. If it's effort to have a girlfriend, then you should have none. It should not be effort to have a girlfriend. There is, I mean, there's deep digging and situations that you come through and obstacles and whatever. Outside of like those, it shouldn't be difficult in general. It shouldn't be difficult to have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Well, what about 6? I don't know, maybe. No, probably not. That's a philosophy and a skill of communication. Philosophy is like how you live, the belief system. Like when this happens, you do this. When a hater comes on your social media, what do you do? When the girl threatens this, what do you do? When money is low, what do you do? When you're ill, well, how do you act? How do you treat people? When someone like these are beliefs, like how to respond to life. So you need skills of communication and you need the right belief system. Even like how you groom yourself, how you dress, that comes from beliefs. When you have the right beliefs and skills of communication, then all of those problems go away. And then it's no stress to have girlfriends. So AZD is teaching animal language. Animal language mastery. This is a body language course that starts in a few days, 4 or 5 days. And very intense, high level. It's the matrix, bro. You're caught in a matrix between men and women. The money matrix, the religion matrix, the government matrix, and then there's this mating matrix between men and women where you're misinterpreting what she means with her body, what she means with her words. You're just misinterpreting her. You don't even see her. You see your own mind. You're looking at her in your mind. She's over there. You're not interpreting right. I know I'm not. I'm excited to take this training. Like I said, because AZD points out time and time again, months and months and months go by. I've gamed so much with the guy. I've gone out so much with the guy. But he's in set all the time. In set is like with a girl or multiple girls hanging out or at the club with us. He's just always, or he's teaching the guys. Like he's just always engaged with humans. Like me, I'm talking to a screen right now. This isn't necessarily making me better with people. Like I got to interact with people to get better with people. But this is me getting my voice out and telling you about this thing. You got to take this evolution seriously, men, because it's not easy. Some of you are lollygagging, not doing what it takes, what you need to be doing to improve at game. You're not valuing it enough. It takes everything. Everything, man. And it's worth it. Because you live a life of ignorance without it. I don't want to live in ignorance. It's suffering. You make mistakes. Imagine if the girl is communicating, she's attracted to you and you miss it and you really liked her, but you missed that she was into you and you don't take the next step. Imagine you're about to have sex with a girl and she's communicating certain subtle signals that she's in her head. You may not see that she just doesn't want to have sex. You see whatever you see. Guys will not see that she's resisting because she's often mute or silent, doesn't know how to express herself. Traumatized. There are so many subtle. Imagine you're selling like me's and you're calling somebody and you're FaceTiming them and you can't read their face, their interest level. Imagine being able to read their interest level more accurately so you can see when they have a doubt, handle their doubt, ask a question about their doubt. So interesting, the illusion of soda, how it like quenches your thirst, but then you get thirsty like immediately after because it's all salty and sugary. What a trip. Okay, everybody, animal language, piercing the matrix of the mating matrix between men and women. You'd never be the same again if you get this training. What other trainings are available to you? There's the daily class. That's $147 a month. Every day we meet, mastermind. It's incredible. The value of all of these is indefinable. If you learn the body language course, it's $100,000 course. You could take every body language course in every university on earth, and you wouldn't learn everything that AZD will be teaching. You'll learn a lot, but those guys, if they knew body language, then they would have great relationships. If your other coaches had great body language, they would have great relationships. That's just what it is. So you would also have great relationships with better body language, with great body language. Tonight, I'll be practicing body language, but the course hasn't started yet. So look for all those testimonies. That'll be great. Jesse Paul Kirk, Sultan was telling me a little bit about what you asked him. Man, you got to learn game. You got to learn game. The answer to the question that you sent, Sultan, you need to learn game. You haven't learned game yet. You're not good with game. You have a lot going for you. Thank you, brother. You're a handsome guy. You got a lot going for you, man. Social, friendly, but your understandings of women are, if it wasn't for AZD's teachings, I would say you are lifetimes behind. You'll have to go through lifetimes and remember what you learned last lifetime to get to the proper understandings where we're at now. But it would only take you like a year or two of watching the lectures to really catch up with everything. You just got to hear it over and over again from the source in the correct way, correct grammar, correct syntax, correct ideas, correct philosophy, just correctly, the truth. Because the question that you had sent Sultan and the seriousness and sincerity that you were asking it, yeah, brother. So, I mean, for everybody, that takes money. It takes money. $147 a month to be on the daily class. Or there's other programs that are like digital products that you can buy. The body language course is $1,997, $1,997. It's not for everybody. It is only for the inner circle initiated to know the secrets of body language, like how AZD is going to teach you. You guys are going to be Jedi. You're going to be so fucking superhero, reading bodies, reading girls, reading guys, reading yourself. God bless. I hope you're in a sales job. That'll change everything with rapport. AZD is the best. You got to define mastery. If you're good, above average, really good, expert, master. Like these are levels. He's a master, bro. He's a master of masters. He's better than all the masters. Point anybody out you think is comparable. People like to talk about Andrew Tate. Somebody sent me a bunch of videos with him and girls. They suck. They're pretty girls, but they have no rapport with the guy. If any of them are sleeping with him, they're getting paid because there's no love or rapport in the room. I know. I live with AZD. I see when girls in love with him all the time. I know what it looks like. I have girls in love with me. I know what it looks like. I'm not fooled by that. We sorry men are fooled by that. And we're trying to bring everybody up, but we lead from the front and you got to follow. And so following is you come to the free podcast. That's every day at 10 a.m. DM me if you need the link for that or go to the bio. You get signed up for the daily class, $147 a month. I make like $0 on that. So that's just me telling you that's what you got to do to learn game. Then after that, I mean, you get an orientation call with me and I guide you. Like Jesse Paul, we were talking about Chosen or the infield dating seminars or whatever. There's some advanced trainings. There's a package. At the end of the day, it's like less than $20,000 or $25,000 for all the trainings that would be essential for you. It's less than that. It's probably closer to 15 grand. The thing is, I spent over $120,000 getting a PhD, and that doesn't do shit for me. But if you had all of these advanced trainings, you would be able to handle life better than any graduating psychologist major, master, PhD of psychology. Like they suck. You'd have better relationships than all the psychologists that you'd ever meet in psychiatrists for a fraction of what they pay for school, because you'd actually have some real workable information and philosophy. That's what AZD is teaching. This isn't a joke. This is serious. And you got to value your own life. So sell whatever it takes, get a second job, save up money, put money aside, stop going out, stop drinking, stop smoking, whatever it takes, accumulate the money, get the program. Get a credit card, borrow money, get the program. It's not worth it for you to get the borrow the money. No, your life isn't worth it for you to know body language mastery. Your life isn't worth it to you. That's what it is. It's not the program isn't worth it. Your life isn't worth it to you. Why you won't ask a family member to borrow the money? Because you don't think either the program works or that you'll actually watch it and apply it. A lot of guys buy shit and they don't even watch it. Stupid. I don't know why they do that. It's not pleasing to me. I don't know who they're trying to please, or it's just whatever. So that's what I recommend. That's the ladder. Get on the body language course. It starts in a few days if you want it. Oath, everybody. Be the best. Fuck the rest. IMC Nation. J Guru Dev.